Riot Minds presents an award-winning role-playing game, Trudvang Chronicles. There are many tales and sagas about Trudvang. Many songs about the fallen heroes. Based on the Norse and Celtic myths and legends, Riot Minds present a world of endless adventures. Draw your sword, call upon the gods, weave your magic.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Group 2, Session 1. And it's the same campaign as for Group 1, but it's a little bit new people here. So, well, I guess you might know me already. I'm Patrick, also Rekishi, I'm the GM. I'm from Sweden. I played Trudvang for a while when I was younger, the Swedish version, and I found out about this English translation when I came back from China, and I decided to pick it up and start some groups here over Discord. I found two groups of on Facebook actually playing the game, or well, wanting to play the game, and it seemed like nobody was playing, so I guess I started up some groups just to get stuff going. And this is my second group, so let's do some introductions, huh? So let's start with Ryan. So who are you, Ryan? Where are you from?
I am from the greatest country on earth, Great Britain, obviously. And I am me. I don't know.
Do you do anything? You sit at home at your computer?
Yeah, I sit at home all day just crying. No,
Okay.
I'm an accountant. I do accounts.
All right.
So clearly, better to roll. I roll the best dice clearly because I do nothing but numbers all day.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
not
just
how it works, but I'm
that's
gonna
why you
imagine
like this
that.
game, huh? Because this game is a lot about numbers.
I don't know. Never played the game. Let's find out.
Oh, awesome.
Maybe
So,
I'll like it.
So this is your
Mean
first time playing
carrots.
the game, huh?
But just ignore me. Yeah.
Cool. So what kind of experience do you have with role-playing games from before?
I started playing 5e when a while ago. I started like groups with my mates. Found out I didn't like running the game, so then I started trying to find groups to play in. Played a bit of Pathfinder, and now I'm here.
Nice.
Oh, I did play some Dungeon World for a while. That is a weird system.
What is that? Haven't heard of it.
It's like there's no actions or anything. It's just talking, basically. You just, oh yeah, I'm gonna walk over that guy and punch him in the face, and then you go, okay, roll a dice. You roll a dice. You punch him in the face.
Okay.
It's just there's no like stats or skills. I mean, there are stats.
Sounds
You got, like,
simple, but
six
not too fun.
It's real simple. It's just talking, basically. You just talk.
Doesn't sound too fun though. I mean, it's fun to talk and role-playing and stuff, but I mean,
I enjoyed it.
yeah.
I was a goblin slaying paladin.
So how did you get to know about Trudvang?
Found it on the Matt Koval Discord. Then I joined. Then I read about it, and then you were like, "Oh hey, do you want to play? Like, look, we'll make you a character." And then you put me on the playlist, and I didn't say anything. Now I'm here.
Sorry about that, man.
Hey, I mean,
That's
if
how
I
I
didn't
get
want
people
to, I
in
wouldn't
here.
have been here.
Yeah. So we changed the day to Saturday this week. We're usually streaming on Sundays, but the reason is my brother he has like his 31st birthday on Sunday. Well, tomorrow, so I kind of had to go and eat cake and stuff. Yeah, very sad about that. So thank you guys for coming on a Saturday instead, huh? So Ryan, tell us about your character then.
Oh, I play Bodgeir. He's a blacksmith. He's not the greatest. He's learning. Well, he learned, and then he got sent on his way in the world, and he wanders, repairing stuff, and people go, "You're charging that much, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry."
And where are you right now then?
Terrible. And I'm like, "Yeah." What?
Where are you right now? Your character.
I mean, where are we meant to be?
I mean,
I'll be there.
So yeah, your character is on the farm,
Yeah,
right?
On this farm.
Jukashearth.
Wandered into town. I needed some work done, I imagine.
So you're
I offered them my services.
Right, so you're on Jukashearth as a blacksmith or apprentice blacksmith, I guess.
Kinda.
Yes,
I mean, I just travel around, help.
Right.
Me and my donkey. Then.
So what kind of race and stuff are you?
So I'm a human. I was born in this land.
In the Stormlandish.
I kind of wandered around with my father.
Right. So, you're from the Stormlands. You're from Ejdland.
Yeah, well, probably. Seems about right. You know, wandered around. Okay. You know, I'm a pretty tall lad. I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'7".
Where in Ejdland are you from?
I don't really know, you know. My dad never really told me that sort of stuff. He just kind of told me to follow and eat this, do that. He wasn't the nicest bloke.
Didn't your father disappear?
He did. He, one day, you know, we kind of had this thing where he would go out, he'd get food. He was a really good hunter. I was terrible at it. He didn't teach me anything. Also really hard to sneak around when you're like 6'7". You're huge.
Right.
It's not easy to do.
Are you much bigger than your father was?
I mean, I was growing. It's hard to. I didn't finish growing
until
I just say that.
until it was gone.
He didn't teach me anything. That's the main reason. He never loved me. No. Then one day, he just didn't come back. I imagine he left. Don't imagine anything killed him. A hard lad, that man.
And then,
didn't even know his name. He was just Dad.
So how old were you? You don't even know his name.
I was like 15, which is, I'm pretty sure that's when he had determined that I'm a man. So he just left.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, and then you just went from farm to farm.
Then I wandered to civilization, did odd jobs till one day while I was traveling between towns. Me and this other guy, at the time I didn't know his name, we were just sharing a meal, campfire, because, it's dangerous to go alone.
Mm-hmm.
Take this. Traveling. And it was like, oh, we're cooking like this. You're never going to make it in the world, mate. And he offered me to teach me things. And he did. Taught me many a thing. Taught me to defend myself. Taught me to repair my gear. And he taught me to make gear.
Right.
So, then I took his name. He's Vretgrim. I don't know. Basically like his adopted son.
All right.
That's how it is for me.
All right, that's nice. And where did he go then?
Yeah.
What happened with him?
We traveled around. He was like a traveling kind of guy. He traveled around helping people, repaired stuff, did jobs. So we traveled around for a while till he determined that, I could make it on my own, and he sent me on my way. And it's been like that ever since.
Okay. Nice introduction. Okay, so Polka, who are you?
Hi, my name is Polka. I'm sorry, first time ever doing a live stream, so a bit nervous.
Don't worry about it. It's just usually it's like one person watching it anyway. It's mostly just to kind of keep track of what we've been doing and have fun.
I'm from Sweden, and I'm what am I supposed to say? I don't know.
No, yes, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Why do you do it?
Well, I work as a I don't know what it was called in English. Sorry, in a storage facility. I don't know.
A warehouse. Warehouse worker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Warehouse. Yeah, I do
like
warehouse.
Forklifts and stuff like that.
What?
Like Okay, guys. So we're using Zoom, and now we need to start a new meeting. Just give us a second. We're not paying for Zoom, so we need to every 40 minutes we need to invite people again. So the time is up. So just give us a second here, guys. Sorry about that. People are just joining in again. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Back again. Sorry about that. So yeah, we were using this free program Zoom, but whenever we're using it, we can only use it for 40 minutes, and then we need to restart the meeting again. So next time we're gonna take a little break and just fix everything then. So, Polka, Swedish. So have you played this game before?
Never this version, but I've been playing role-playing games for a long while, and some of the previous versions of this game was some of the first role-playing games I ever played, and I have some very fond and embarrassing memories of embarrassing and funny characters.
Okay.
So,
nice.
And I love the world. I love this world. It's. I'm really excited to get back to it. Actually, it's like I haven't visited this world in so long.
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody that knows the world a little bit, so I don't have to remember everything myself. So feel free to interact and interject and give us some information.
Well, I normally try to stop myself from being a damn know-it-all, but thank you for giving me free reins. I'll try not to embarrass you.
I guess I will probably regret that, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. So what about your character? What's your character?
Right. So my character is Mane Haumundsson. He's a human from of the
Westmark.
The Virann from Westmark. He used to be, or he was supposed to become a priest for the tenets of Nid. He was growing up his entire life basically in a monastery and everything, and he was very devout, very much wanting to follow the scriptures and everything. But then,
can you tell us a little bit about tenets of Nid before you go
on? So the tenets of Nid are basically the they are a monotheistic religion predominant in the western parts of Trudvang. It's a where Trudvang as a world takes inspiration from many different sources. The tenets of Nid is an almost exact not exact, but like there are a lot of things from Christianity that's been translated into this religion. So and the tenets of Nid, they are very expansionistic. They like to convert people. They think lesser of other religions and tend to like organize witch burnings for magicians and stuff.
Nice.
Which is where my character came in the fact that he one day awoken to magic, that he was supposed to become a priest, but then magic started happening, and he was freaked out and he didn't know what to do, and he tried to suppress it, but that didn't work, and he was found out. And the other priests in the monastery where he lived, they tried to exorcise the magic out of him with a number of fairly gruesome and horrible and scarring methods. And finally, when nothing really worked and his magic kept on growing, everyone decided to just, well, we have to execute him. Hey, we can't allow his soul to be any more damned than it already is. And so on the night of his execution at dawn, essentially, he decided, I don't want to die. I really don't want to die. I realize my soul is forever lost beyond redemption, but I don't want to die. And so in that moment, his magic sparked and allowed him to escape from his prison cell, because that's essentially what it was, where he was locked up. And ever since then, he's been on the run, running east, away from Westmark, away from the tenets of Nid. He still likes to think of himself as a devoted believer, but he's at the same time at a state of mind where he doesn't think he deserves it. He thinks that his magic is something wrong. It's bad. It's dark. It's twisted. He thinks that the things he sees, the things he knows, that brings forth his magic is all demons speaking in his head. And so he tries to control them. He tries to not listen to them because they constantly whisper in his ear, do this, do that. Everything is possible. Just open your eyes and all of the things. And so, but he's been running. He during his travels, he pretended, or not pretended, but he sold his services as a scribe, essentially a traveling scribe across. That's how he made money enough to survive. By when he came to different cities, he offered his services because apparently not a lot of people can write in this world. It's a very much a pre-industrialized, pre-civilization, pre-civilized world. It's yeah. So
Right.
people who can write is good, and people who know different languages is very good, and people who can write in different languages is extra good. And that's one of the things that Mana is very good at. He
Right.
knows a lot of different languages.
So is
and
that what
how
you're
to write
doing on the farm?
Yes, exactly. The game start the farm where we start. Mana has been employed by Kraltjan to write a number of letters and to manage some numbers for the what's it called, the tithes of what proper payments for things. He's been basically been doing labor paperwork, because labor wise he is not any good. He's a stiff breeze could probably knock him over.
Right.
He,
So
he's been living his entire life hunched over a writing desk. Not much
right.
physical labor there.
But that's great. Yeah, like you said, most of the people in Stormlands and actually in the whole world can't really read and write. And even though Kraltjan Bite is a master of a farm, he doesn't know how to read and write himself. Maybe his wife could read and write a little bit, but not enough to draft or to calculate or to do anything nice. And since it's actually almost time for the thing to start for this year, the thing is a kind of assembly meeting of the governing bodies of this area. You can also call it an all thing. And oh, hello Ale, by the way. We got Ale in the chat. So yeah, in about 10 days there's gonna be a big thing outside of Grim Village in the west part of Ejdland, where all the shield jarls and their henchmen will meet up and decide the rules and laws for the country and the next year, and what's going to happen and who's going to have what power and land and all the disputes and stuff. So that's kind of what's been going on lately. Kraltjan's Hird, his personal guard, has been getting ready to leave, and most of them have already left, and to go to the thing, because in the thing it's kind of like almost a little bit like democracy, where every adult male or female have one vote, independent of station, to decide what's going to happen with the country and stuff like that. Of course, the shield jarls, the top guys, right? They have a lot of sway and a lot of power over what people vote. So of course they're like shield draws under them, and clan chieftains and stuff under them will vote whatever they will vote. So that's how usually it works. Okay, so nice, Polka, nice to have you. Pretty good first.
Oh,
yeah. What?
I was going to say that there's another character who's another character in the game, another player who Mana met on the way, and they've been traveling together. So they reached Kraltjan's farm, Jukashearth, I think it was. Yeah, they reached it together, and they've been staying there for a while now. But I'll let that player describe that when we get to him.
All right, perfect, great, welcome. So Loke, who are you?
Hey. So who am I? Well, I'm from the land of chocolate and beer, the great land of Belgium. And I'm an electronical engineer by day. I work with computers and that kind of shit. What do you want to know? My experience with role playing in general?
Yeah, sure.
I've been playing mainly D&D for a long time, 3.5, since, well, I would say since I was a boy. But yeah, not very seriously. I mean, I played like one game every few months, something like that, with friends. I did a little bit of Pathfinder more recently, and I peeked into different stuff, like a bit of Cthulhu, a bit of pirate stuff, or whatever. I got here through Matt Colville's Discord, as
Right.
most of the other did, I guess. Yeah, thumbs up, Ryan.
Did you Ryan come from there as well?
Yeah, he did.
I guess so. Okay. Oh, cool.
Right. Do you want to know something else about me, or shall I go to?
If you have something to say, sure. For example, why don't you have a camera?
Well, I don't have a camera because you told me I could play yesterday, and I don't
true.
buy cameras on Fridays evenings.
Okay. That's a pretty good excuse, I guess. I mean, you don't really need a camera, but it is nice to be able to see each other, I think. We have a guy in group 1, Elendil, and he didn't have a camera in the beginning either, and that was fine, but it was so much more fun when he actually had one later, so hint, hint. So tell us about your character then.
And that he traveled with.
Oh, wait a second. My connection. I don't know what's going on, but my internet connection has been pretty bad these last few weeks. So sometimes it just disconnects, and now the stream is reconnecting here. Yeah, sorry about that. My internet connection is a little bit bad sometimes. So, Loki, can you tell us again about your character?
Right, so my character is the one Polka was speaking about that his character is traveling with. So, as with his character, mine comes from Westmark, the land of the Virann. He's the younger brother of a noble family that was expected to become a knight. And in Westmark, knights are a very serious business, right? They have this code of honor, and they're involved in believing in that religion, the tenets of the Nids, which is this Christian-like religion. Right. And well, my guy, he doesn't really like this religion because it's very, oppressive and, restrictive. And so he just thought, well, what the heck? I don't like that. I'm a noble. Who cares? I'm gonna get my way. He's very strong-willed like that. But you know what? He did not really get his way. He was found out by the church, so he kind of had to flee because, he was nearing his coming into age, and yeah, that was a bad thing to happen when you're supposed to be a knight, to say that you do not believe in the tenets of the Nid.
Right.
So he left, kind of in a rush. He took a boat, things happened, fate did a little turn of events, and maybe he shipwrecked on the coastlands, and maybe he had to work like a hobo through the lands and the forest and the marshes. And maybe he met with this weird little fellow that talks several languages, and they found some comradeship in the fact that they both came from Virann and both had, less than cordial relationship with the church. And so they went on walking to Ejdland, and maybe they hunted on the way, maybe they stole some stuff in farms, because that's how you get by sometimes when you're not that good at hunting. And got there, and hopefully, I guess he's found a way to get enrolled into the harvest as a farmhand, because he's not that bright. He knows what he wants, but he's not exactly an accountant, he's not a blacksmith, so I guess he will just help with the manual labor and try and get to fit in.
Right. So your character is a rogue, huh?
Well, he dabbles in the thieving skills. He does what he has to do. Maybe he will opportunistically steal stuff, but it's not like he's a Yakuza, organized crime, something.
So he steals a little bit because he feels like he has the right to get what he wants, or? How come he steals?
Well, it's not a question of right. I mean, you do it or you don't, and you have what you give yourself, right?
So it was more like a survival thing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fair enough. And now you're working as a farmhand. Are you trying to? Is your character trying to get his life turned around a little bit and get off his dark ways, or is he just taking the job that he has the chance to take?
I feel that you are being very judgmental towards my character's ways, and I don't really like that. He's trying to get by. And
why did he? Yeah, he just tried to get by, so he took the job, or is he trying to get his life turned around, or is he happy about? Does he like being a little bit of a rogue and highwayman and like taking what he needs sometimes, or doesn't he like that at all?
Well, he likes taking what he wants, but he doesn't like being restricted from doing so because he's a vagrant and he doesn't know the lay of the land. So he would like to get back into his, know his surroundings. Like back in Vitner, he was a noble, so he did parties in the city, etc. Now he's lost in a foreign land, so he should get to know his surroundings and get acquainted, and then maybe he can get back into a more wealthy kind of life.
Right. Cool. Nice. Welcome to the stream. So, Morten then. Hello, Morten.
Hey.
Who are you?
Yep. So I'm Morten. I live in Denmark, more specifically the southern parts of Ejdland. I'm a former trained chef, worked for that for 10 to 12 years, give and take. And now I am learning to become a graphic designer, and I'm starting my internship at Lego next week.
Cool.
My character is a character called Lashneel. You would say that he would probably have to have had a unfortunate past, because when you look at him, you think, is he a kind of crossbreed between a dwarf and troll or human? But then you realize he isn't a crossbreed. He's just really, really destroyed. His face is like, some of the skin on his face is missing. The underlip is missing, so he's like drooling all the time. When he walks, he does it with a limp. You can see that his arms and leg have been broken many times, and probably none of the times they mended all right. He stinks of troll grease and pig fat and mold. He's altogether a very unpleasant guy to look at. Also, his eyes, they're always searching the environment around him, like they flickers. He has some serious form of PTSD from abuse. I'm not sure if the leader of the farm have told you about his past, but when he was younger, apparently he was taken as a baby and raised by trolls and abused by trolls. At some point, he managed to escape and was raised on the farm. He travels from farm to farm sometimes to heal people with his brews. The farms probably don't ask too many questions about it, but when they do, you notice he says that it's the Gabanish faith, but he doesn't talk about it all that much. When he goes foresting, he's probably a forester, something like that for the farm. He has this leather armor on and lots of small skulls from mice and different animals bound to his armor. If you stayed on the farm for a longer time, you probably know that he has a shrine in the outskirts of the farm. And he helps at the farm with stuff he do at the farm. He doesn't tend the animals because they don't like him.
Right. So he's kind of like the adopted son of Kraltjan Bite and his wife Elsa.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you ask yourself, did they adopt him as a joke or something? Yeah. Also, he doesn't get a vote when people are voting.
Mm. Okay, so people are kind of scared of you because you look so fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
people in the Stormlands and Ejdland and this area are quite superstitious. So,
Yeah.
like anything that has to do with magic or looking different,
I know.
yeah, people would look sideways at you. You know.
Yeah.
The only thing that people accept wholeheartedly is the religion, Jerbanis, the
Yeah,
bloat
that's
and
why.
right.
That's why I say I'm a priest of Jerbanis.
Right. So yeah, so people
at least you notice sometimes I get to slaughter a sheep and sacrifice or a different kind of animal, maybe chickens or something like that.
Right. Cool, nice. Hello, Nerny from the first groups in the chat. All right, cool. Pixie, hey man.
Yeah, it's me left. So Pixie, I've been playing role-playing games for like 10 years, and I started out with, except some really free-form stuff, I started out with the Drakar Demon Trudvang, the game this is based on, basically.
Right.
It's very different, and I'm kind of mad they got rid of the parts I liked and kept the other parts, apparently. But yeah, and I've been playing like mostly indie games and a lot of Pathfinder because that's what's easy to find groups for, basically.
So
yeah,
when you play the old Swedish Trudvang, so what's the things that you kind of miss from there?
Oh, I like the fact that when you hit someone, you rolled to see where you hit, and you had different health points for your different like parts. So if you got a slam dunk in your head, yeah, you're fucked. You're not gonna feel well for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, and I missed the main skill system. I thought it was pretty great, mostly because I abused it as no one should. But yeah. By day, I'm a student. I'm studying textile engineering. It's apparently something that exists. No one's ever heard of it.
In Borås?
In Borås.
Oh, really? Okay, pretty close to me then. I'm in Gothenburg myself. So, in Borås they have a very famous textile university, right? So it's Pixie and all of the pretty girls were studying there.
How did you know?
I see what you did there. So nice. So what about your character? Who are you playing?
So I'm playing Korbli, and Korbli is he's an elf, a Korpikalli elf. So it's like the dark elf, but it's not like a drow. Yeah, and he's come from the forest near this farm, but he's been cast out by the society of the Elven Society. Why is something he doesn't want to talk about at all. Currently on the farm, he's like, during the day he does something, no one's quite sure what, but during the nights he like takes care of everyone's morale and tells stories and so on. But during the day he seems to mostly like take care of the children, do some like go out in the woods a little bit. Sometimes he's with the animals. He's like, he does everything. Visually he's pretty like, you can tell that this is not a man that the world has been kind to. So he's like just dressed in a big bear fur, and he has a belt that straps it to him. Otherwise it's like just rags. And he's pretty short and has a mustache, but he can't grow a beard because he's an elf. And yeah, tragic life fate, I guess.
So, do you tell people the fact that you're an elf, or do you kind of keep it hidden?
It's pretty obvious. I have large ears, even for an elf, and they're so large that they don't like. There's no points. They kind of start to droop because they're so big.
Okay, so you're kind of the odd one on the farm. I mean, like Lashnil is
Yeah.
quite ugly, but elves usually don't work on farms.
No.
So I guess the farm master Kraltjan and his family are just kind of having you there as a kind of what
Yeah,
would you
they
say?
They saved me last winter from starving, basically, because I was just living alone in the woods, and now I'm trying to return the favor.
Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking otherwise that I'm trying to figure out why would Kraltjan hire you?
He wouldn't. He
Yeah,
wouldn't. He
because
would pity me.
it would just be like a kind of fun thing to show your neighbors or something. Oh, look, I have an elf.
Yeah.
But I guess okay. So he kind of helped you out there a little bit. He seemed like a very nice man, this Kraltjan, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Taking
really does. The weird dwarf and the weird elf,
Right.
and then the two foreigners.
Okay, so we have one elf, a Korpikalli, the kind of forest, dark elfish.
Yeah.
The elves that kind of stepped away from their gods and stuff and kind of started living as wild people in the forest. So probably your character would have come from the Copper Woods in the south. There's a small Korpikalli community in there.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 Stormlanders from this area, and 2 from Virann in Westmark in the west, far away. Oh, did we lose somebody?
No. Nerny joined.
Nerny, get out of here.
It's the wrong group.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's fucking up my settings. Damn Nerny. Nerny is from the first group. So, okay, cool. So that's the group. So you've been on this farm for at least 10 days. I mean, Lashnil and Korbli, you've been here for longer, of course, since you actually kind of live here, right? And you've been helping out on the farm in different ways, and especially with the harvest. It's time you just actually finished the harvest today, and you're all in a very, very good mood because today you know you're going to get paid and be free to move on and do something else. And there's going to be a minor feast tonight, and there's going to be dancing and gambling, and people are going to have a good time in the longhouse. So you're really looking forward to that as well. So how much did you guys interact with each other?
I think Korbli would interact with everyone some days, and on evenings, I guess. Are you doing anything else other than listening to the good story?
Right, because you like to tell stories, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it would be interesting for most people to listen to an elf telling some stories.
I would at least, maybe at a distance, but I would.
Right. So how did you guys react to Lashnil and his ugly exterior? Did you try to get to know Lashnil, or did Lashnil try to get to know others, or did you keep your distance, or?
Get that thing away from me.
I guess Korbli would be like, oh wait, someone that's worse off than me. Finally, I'm not the black sheep, and then be like sympathetic.
Okay.
Even though it's probably not true.
What about
I
Polka?
think I would.
Yeah, Morten.
I would probably get to know of their abilities and maybe know them because I'm like a fierce guard dog defending the farm because he's been good to me.
Mm-hmm. What about Ryan and Polka?
I think that Mana has probably been a bit shy of people. He hasn't been talking to other people. He's been keeping indoors mostly, writing those letters and getting other things done. Probably talking a bit more with Kraltjan about like what it is that he wants me to write and how and stuff like that. And but mostly to himself. He's probably been. He's actually probably been very distant towards Korbli and Lashnil. Like, he's probably not even talked to them. And if they have entered the room or something or been near, then Mana has been very quiet. The only one he's been talking about at all, really, is probably Sulvig, who's been maybe at times maybe he's been talking in Röna which is the language of the Viranns in Westmark. So he's probably been. That's probably the only one who he's been actively talking with, except for Kraltjan.
So people kind of know that you guys are from Westmark, then.
Probably, yeah. If it isn't pretty obvious that we're not Stormlanders.
Yeah, because you're a little bit shorter, perhaps, and even though Westmark, like Viranns and the Ejdland people are quite similar in the complexion, like a little bit lighter and lighter colored hair and stuff, compared to the rest of the Stormlands, where most people are like dark colored. So you could pretty much pass for a Stormlander if you were a little bit taller, perhaps.
Well, I was trying to pass like a Stormlander, but with this funny little multi-language speaking dwarf, it's kind of hard.
Dwarf? Who is the dwarf?
Nah, he's not a dwarf, but it's
very short. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What about you, Ryan? How did you interact with the rest?
I mean, I'm not an overly superstitious because I mean I wasn't taught a lot of it. You know, it's only recently that I've been taught a lot of the stuff that I know. So, like, honestly, like, my guy probably doesn't really care. I mean, just kind of, he chats a bit. I mean, he tries to get, the main thing is he just asks if anyone has work. He just does lots of work. You know?
And everybody will have to come to you at some point to get their gear fixed and stuff, right?
You know, everyone needs repair. So, I mean, I've seen horrors of this world, you know, admittedly, ran away, but I've seen them. So, you know, doesn't really bother me that much.
Right.
I've got pretty strong willpower. They don't really scare me much.
That's good. So, I guess you are kind of friendly with each other, at least all of you, even though some of you are kind of staying in the background a little bit and to yourself, and especially Mane and Vig are quite close to each other.
Actually, I think if he doesn't mind, if he's not superstitious, then I would probably try to learn stuff from him, like repairing stuff and such.
Okay, sure, that's fine. And that's actually one way to get some more creation points or adventure points later to use for your skills. Oh. You are always welcome to try to learn from each other and stuff like that, right? Cool. So don't be afraid to say that you want to learn something and go for it, because that's a good way to improve your skills. And another thing, one problem with playing over the internet like this is that it's quite easy to talk over each other, you know. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go from the left to the right all the time. So I'm gonna start with Ryan, Polka, and so on, right? But of course, if you have something that you want to add, or if you are talking, have a conversation or something, of course you can interject yourself, you know. But just be a little bit careful. Remember, there's some lag on the audio sometimes, so just give each other space a little bit. I think it's gonna work pretty well. Just so you think about that. Okay, so it's starting to get.
The time is about to run out.
Oh yeah.
It says 3 minutes.
On Zoom. Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's take a break before we start, right?
We can start a little bit, and then when the meeting ends, we'll take a break. Maybe I should actually think about paying the $15 per month and just working.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really expensive.
Wow.
It's a little bit steep.
Sure, there should be a simpler program, maybe.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just this program works very well. Like the audio quality is good, and even the people that have some audio problems from Discord before, it still works very well here, I think. So it would be nice. I mean, if you guys have any program or anybody watching knows any good program for video conference, please tell us. Of course, that would be the best. But for now, we have this Zoom. And actually, we do have a link down below where you can tip us some money or something if you want to help us out. Maybe we can pay for Zoom. But I'm not expecting anything. I'm happy to pay for it myself. But yeah, if anybody want to chip in with something, we can do it together. Okay, so let's just start a little bit and then have a little break. And then, yeah, do that. Okay, so it's the evening arrives, and you are all. Some of you are out on the field, finishing up the harvest, and you just finished everything. The last bales of hay are put up, and everything went really smoothly, and you're quite happy, and all the other farmhands as well. And you're walking back together to the farm. It's not a very big farm. It's like one longhouse, some outhouses, and nothing much more than that. I actually have a map for you guys that we can go to. The Jukashearth farm. So let's take a look. Let's move over there. So as you can see, it's quite small. Just a longhouse, an animal barn, some outhouses, and all around there's some fields and stuff. And they don't really have a proper palisade around. It's just like a small stone wall like this. And behind the house, you can see there's a massive oak that looks quite interesting. It seems to be quite unique. If anybody asked about it, Kraltjan or his wife always say that it's been there even before they started making the farm. Like when he was young and he built the farm, he built it there just because of this beautiful oak. It kind of looks a little bit. The color of the oak is kind of different. It looks a little bit more reddish than normal, and it seems quite strong and massive. Seems to have been there forever. So that's maybe a place where some people might have spent some time resting or enjoying themselves in the shade of it. Okay, so it's time to restart.
Ripperoni.
So, yeah, so let's just
I'm ready.
All right. Yeah, we're back again. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, because we're using Zoom, which is a free program, we can only do it for 40 minutes at a time, and then we need to restart the meeting for the webcams and stuff here. So we're gonna take a break every 40 minutes or so, about 5 minutes, and just get some more coffee and stuff. So cheers. Let's continue. So you guys are all on your way back to the farm, and the other farmhands or the other young farmhands around you are quite happy and like kind of joking with each other and jumping around a little bit and just generally acting excited because they know they're gonna get some really nice food tonight. They're gonna get their salary and they're gonna be able to move on and do something else. And yeah, they're quite excited, and you kind of feel the environment is making yourself excited as well, and you're getting ready for the feast. So when you come back to the longhouse, it's already getting dark, and you kind of see this nice and warm light spilling out from the entrance. Longhouses doesn't really have... Yeah, okay. Ryan, you want to do the warm light? The longhouses in this game doesn't really have windows. I mean, it's just made of wood, and it might have some like windows with like a wooden cover for it, or this kind of thing, but mostly it's just a big entrance. On the sides of the doors, there are these two pillars, and this is something you guys know about from before. You've seen it at every house. This kind of represents, it's part of the Jerbanis faith, and it kind of represents the standing of the family living there. So the nicer the wood quality and the nicer the carvings, the higher status the family have. And this is something that you order specifically made for your family, so like the carvings and stuff on them are maybe from the family history and this kind of thing. And they look quite nice here. I mean, it's not the nicest you guys have seen, but it seemed like Kraltjan is doing quite well for himself. Kraltjan and his wife Elsa. They have some children and stuff as well, but I haven't really spent a lot of time with them. So you guys enter the longhouse. On the walls are all the shields belonging to the Kraltjan's Hird. He has about a 5-man Hird. It's not a very big one, but it's enough to kind of protect the farm, and they are also, of course, used in war, helping out with his shield jar and stuff. And all of their equipment and stuff are hanging on the walls, as they usually do. In the middle of the room is a big hearth, like a fireplace. On the sides of the along the walls are some wooden benches where the farmhands and the shield Hird and stuff usually sleep. And there's some back rooms as well where Kraltjan and his family lives a little bit more comfortably. This is where you guys spent most of your time, probably. You slept in here. And I mean, some of you might have slept like in the outhouse or something as well, if you prefer that, but usually people sleep in here. So yeah, you enter the room. There's some people in the corner playing some kind of dice game. People are sitting down already, and the food is already being put out, so people are already starting to eat and drink as much as they can. At the end of the longhouse, on a little platform, sits Kraltjan and his wife and his 2 eldest sons. Kraltjan is around 45, you think, quite strong still. He has a big red hair, but the top of his head is all shaven, and you know that this means that he's been a warrior at some point, and you are allowed to shave your head, either the top or everything, as soon as you have killed your first person in battle. So he's kind of proudly still shows his shaven head, even though he's at this point past his prime, you could say, right? And kind of settling down with his family here. It's already starting to gray a little bit on the sides. But he's a very happy guy, a very big happy guy, and he works very hard. He's not that kind of master that sits on the sidelines and asking you guys to do all the work. Instead, he's always helping out on the farm. His wife is a big rose-cheeked woman, also sitting up there with him, and her name is Elsa. And then his eldest son, Vitner, is on his right, and then his second son is on the left. So, what do you guys want to do? Let's start with Ryan.
Well, I'm not sure if I would have even gone out for the harvest. You know, lots of tools to repair, etc., etc.
Right. Like you
So
spend most of your time in one of the outhouses that's kind of converted to a temporary forge. I mean, they don't really have a blacksmithing forge on the farm, so that's something you had to set up, kind of. So you spend most of the time there, but you wouldn't miss the feast.
Mm-hmm. Of course, naturally. I mean, I guess. I mean, it would be quicker for me, so I'm probably already in the longhouse.
Yeah, probably.
Sitting at a table somewhere, you know, just waiting for people to return, probably. Maybe chatting with whoever's still in the longhouse.
Right,
I'm not
right.
sure who'd be in there.
I mean, it's been filling up pretty well. I mean, there's the
Mm-hmm.
table that you're sitting at is kind of empty for now. I mean, it's on the edge, so you're the first one sitting down there. But it's a pretty much a few tables together, right? So you can talk with the people on your right if you want to. And it's mostly just the other farmhands and stuff like that, and
Of course.
all in a very good mood.
You know, I'll just chat amongst, you know,
Mhm.
them, you know, talking about, you know, the weather and the harvest
Sure.
and the upcoming feast. Food.
So one of them asks you, so Bodgeir, what's your plan? What are you gonna do next now? Do you have
I
any
mean,
plans?
probably fix as much as I can here and then move on to the next, you know. Once I've fixed all I can here, it's not much more work for me. So move on to the next.
Another guy says, "Oh, you must have been traveling all over the place. You must have seen a lot of Ejdland already."
I mean, I don't keep track, but it's been a lot of traveling. I did a lot of traveling before I fixed stuff, and I kept on traveling even once I learned, you know. I just travel place to place, never really stay in one place for long.
That sounds amazing. I wish I could travel like that. And they start talking amongst each other about traveling and where they want to go, and all the big cities that they heard about and stuff in the west. What about you, Polka? What is Mane doing?
A moment, please.
Good timing on the shooting that.
So Magnus going, and he said that Kraltjan he's not busy right now. He's not doing any particular thing, right? He's not busy, right?
No, he's just enjoying himself, eating and talking with his wife and son.
Okay. Then Magnus is gonna approach him and like stand on the other side of the table or whatever where he's sitting, and like stand a bit like he's waiting to be addressed, as if like he doesn't want to impose himself. He doesn't want to be rude, so he stands there and like.
So Kraltjan notices you pretty straight away, and he's kind of used to you and not trying to take any space. So he motions you over and says, "Oh, Master Haumundsson, come over. What can I help you with?"
Master Peter, the last letter you asked me to write, I have revised it according to your wishes, and it's ready to be sent straight away with the next runner.
Perfect. Actually, Mane, I want to talk to you a little bit later if you have some time. I have something I want to ask you about.
Yes, certainly, sir. I'll be available.
But by all means, go and enjoy the feast for now.
Oh, thank you, sir. And he's like, you give a quick bow like that. Probably not like how, like he probably has a lot of customs that appear strange to Stormlanders because he comes all the way from Westmark. And so when he's being courteous, polite and stuff, that might look a bit strange to a lot of Stormlanders. But Kraltjan's probably used to him by now, as you said. Yeah, and Mana will back away and sit down and take something to eat, take something to drink, and probably sit at some corner, try to keep a little bit to himself, not really approaching anyone, really. But he does probably, I don't know. Oh, yeah, he does pull up a book. Out of his bag, he does pull up his big leather-bound journal, and he starts like taking bites of bread or whatever it is, a sip of meat or whatever it is, and writing down, and he's basically writing down it's his journal.
Right. So you pretty much just sat down at the first table you saw, and that just happened to be just in front of Bodgeir. So, but I mean, you say hi to him, but you don't really talk because you're busy with your journal. I think the connection I lost the connection again. I lost the connection again, guys. Sorry about that.
Rip.
Okay.
I'm back, but the stream is just gonna restart. I don't know why it does this every time. Actually, last week too, and the week before that, it was kind of shitty. I have no idea what's going on with my connection these days, but anyway, I think it should reconnect here pretty soon if it hasn't already. Damn connection. So, of course, your kind of mannerism and the way that your courteous way is kind of different from the Stormlanders, right? In the Stormlands, it's more like they're pretty much straightforward, and of course you show respect to your betters, but you don't really bow so much. Maybe just for the shield jarls and stuff. But I mean, he feels pretty honored that you're showing him this amount of respect, and he respects your abilities, and you did a very good job for him. So he's very happy about that. So yeah, I think we're back online again here. Sorry about the connection trouble here, guys. Okay, what about you? Yeah, okay.
You said that I sat across from someone. Who's was that?
You said about across from Ryan's character.
Sorry. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Bodgeir.
It's me.
So, what about you, Loki? What is Vig doing? Still here, Loki?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
So the first thing Vig would do was be to look around and try and get an idea of who's who in this great social gathering. I mean, so you have the lords at the end of the long table, I guess, but are there any other persons of notice? Like, I don't know, maybe he has a chief of his warriors, maybe he has a chief of the farmhands?
Yeah, so Kraltjan and his sons and his wife are sitting on a kind of their own little table on a platform above the rest at the end of the table. And in the corner on one of the benches, there's a small kind of table over there as well. And some of the hired men are sitting there playing some kind of dice game and eating. Otherwise, all the farmhands and everyone are just sitting randomly at the long table. At the edge of the table, at one of the smaller tables, sits Bodgeir and Manesk, and just eat. And Mane is looking in his book and writing something.
Okay, but you don't have it's not very structured. It's a small farm, so you don't have specific persons that handle specific stuff, No,
I mean, they don't really have like a blacksmith that is there all the time and this kind of thing, and the the master farmhand would be Kraltjan himself.
Okay, alright, he does the stuff himself.
And of course the hired has a captain that takes care of the hired, and he's sitting with his friends playing a dice game in the corner.
Okay. Well, then they are playing dice, right? Is it common for non-herdmen to go and talk to herdmen and maybe interact with them and maybe try and play with them? Or is this something that you shouldn't do?
I mean, if you want to play the dice game, I don't think they would mind. They are happy to take your money.
Well, they can try.
Yeah, you reckon. So if you want to go there and play some game, you can do that.
I'll do that. I'll go check up on the boys.
All right. So what do you do? What do you say?
Well, so then I approached them. I don't know if I could have had contact with them, but I guess not, because, I mean, they wouldn't be mingling with the farmhands.
That might be. I mean, they are pretty much farmhands themselves. Just
Okay.
they just kind of focus on being warriors. Like some of them are Kraltjan's sons, and so on.
Okay, well, I would have tried to chat them up if I could during the harvest, and then if I recognize one of them at the table, I'll just say, "Hey, boys."
Oh, Vicky,
Yeah.
Wiggy, you want to join us?
Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
All right. So you're ready to lose some money?
Yeah, I'm ready to look at you trying to make me lose some money and fail.
So how much money are we playing about? One of them asked. How much money do we play about?
All right, I have no idea what kind of money, what is the value of money in this land.
So there's pretty much 3 types of coinage: copper, silver, and gold, right?
Mhm.
So I think there's like 100 copper on 1 silver, and there's
Okay,
10
yeah.
silver on 1 gold. But you would probably play about coppers at this point, like a few coppers at the most.
Okay, so what would be a good bet, like 5 copper, something like that?
Yeah, sure. 5
I don't
coppers
know.
would be
I'm
fine.
asking because I don't know what it's like. 5 coppers, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be fine.
Okay, let's do this.
I think you would be happy about that. So how do we play this game? So let's use the rolling function in Roll20. Do you have gambling or anything like that?
No, I don't.
Nothing
I
at
don't
all?
have any skill in dice playing.
Okay, let's see. There are four hidden men around here. Let's see their skill then. Okay, so let's do a 1d10 open roll and then add whatever gambling skill you have.
So I have nothing, but I have the basic 1 in entertainment. Do I add that or not?
Yeah. Well, sure, add that. And then it's an open roll as well, so if you get 10. Okay, let's see the other guys then.
That's bad.
Let's see it. Sorry, I didn't remember how to do this.
Ugh.
Okay, and the next one. Oh, I can't do that. I always forget. And he has that. And we have
Yeah.
and then we have this guy. Okay, so 2 of them got the same. So let's do these ones again. All right, so the 4th guy, he kind of raises his hands like woohoo, and he takes all the money. You want to go again? he asks.
So I look at him and I say, all right, this is cute, playing dice, but don't you have more manly games? And I look at him like, are you a real warrior?
What do you want to do?
I don't know, maybe you want to arm wrestle a little bit, or I don't know, or try to shoot arrows into something.
Yeah, that would
Do
be fun.
something manly, you know?
We can do some arm wrestling. One of them
And
says.
I perk up when he says that because I hear arm wrestling and I am in.
Oh, you
So
want to join as
I would
well?
like to walk over at the mention of that while they're doing that.
Okay, so you see them getting ready to arm wrestle Loki and the fourth guy there.
So the captain is here, right?
Yeah, it's not the guy that you're arm wrestling though.
Okay, but I will try to wrestle the captain.
Oh, you want to wrestle
Okay.
the captain?
At this
Yes.
point, I walk over to the table with a bowl of stew or whatever it is,
Mhm.
and I just maybe I stand too, when you stand too close to people that it's uncomfortable. I don't have that zone, so I just go all the way. I stand really close to the table with my stew and just stare at them.
All right, fair enough. So let's see here. You want to fight the captain, right?
Well, if he wants to.
Sure.
I mean, if he's afraid, I won't, of course.
So that's the first guy. And say, yeah, sure, I'm ready. He says and smacks his arms a little bit. He looks quite strong.
Yeah, and I don't.
So let's roll a D10 open roll again and add your strength to see who wins this.
So I can't use any of my fighting training. It's just pure strength.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's no way I can make this dirty in order to win.
Dexterity.
Or cheating.
I mean, with the arm wrestling, you can play with the wrist to.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it has something to do with dexterity. You can use the dexterity instead if you want.
Oh, not instead. No, I have better strength. I will do better strength.
Right.
But I wanted to spice it up.
So how do you want to spice it up? You can try it if you want.
Oh well, yeah. As I told you, I would try and put him in a weird, crappy position and try to bend the wrist in order to force him into a bad position where he can't really use his strength.
Okay, so this first roll is a strength, then roll a dexterity one as well then.
Ugh.
Okay.
Oh well, no roll is good in this game, right?
Not at this point. Now you want to have a high roll.
Okay.
So he's gonna roll against your dexterity first. Let's see. I lost my pen. Okay, so first he's gonna roll against your dexterity.
Yay.
Oh, okay. So,
That's a failure.
yes, and that's a difference of 1. So I'm gonna give you +1 on your strength roll then, so you have a total of 7. So he's gonna do the strength roll as well.
Ugh.
Okay, so you're holding it. You're both equally strong, and nobody's really going back and forth anything. It's like just you're both shaking and being there in the middle together in a stalemate. So I guess you have to roll again, huh?
So I look at him while we are in a standoff, and I tell him, so the captain of the herdmen is losing to a farmhands. And I smile a little.
Just you wait, he says, looking up at you with a fire in his eyes. Like maybe he's ready to go into berserk here almost.
So is he really angry?
No. He knows it's just for fun. I mean, he knows you
Alright.
well enough to know that you like to play this kind of games. So,
Okay, so shall I roll strength again and maybe dexterity? I don't know.
yeah, you can roll strength and dexterity again. You don't need to roll dexterity if you don't want to, but you can.
Well, I want to win, so
Yeah.
I will.
Start with the strength then, and then do the dexterity.
Okay, strength and dexterity.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, okay. He will do his dexterity first. Okay, so you get +3 on your strength. You have a total of 9. Then he does his strength roll.
Oh, incredible!
Oh, damn. Oh, you're still at the stalemate there. You haven't moved an inch, any of you.
This is a bit extend off.
And
At this point,
you guys should probably do a Constitution roll at this point. See how much, how strong you are, and how much stamina you have. So do a Constitution roll and see how that is going.
Ugh.
in the meantime, I go outside for a brief minute.
Okay, sure. Do that.
So am I feeling that I'm slowly losing to the constant strain because I just failed horribly?
So because of your Constitution roll there, he managed to inch a little bit and get your hand a little bit down towards his side. You probably need to You need to win 3 times to win the whole game.
Oh, okay.
So he had one time now. Okay, let's do another roll then.
How do these guys feel about cheating? I mean, I wouldn't ask them directly, but do I have an idea of whether this would make them very angry or they would take it as a joke?
They probably wouldn't like it too much. I mean, they like to fight fair, you know.
All right.
You reckon?
Okay, so strength again. Strength and dexterity again.
Yep. Okay, that's a good one. And there's dexterity.
This will take hours.
Oh.
Come on.
Nice. Okay, so let's take his strength, and then that's a difference of
7.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna roll 3.
Or
not.
Oh, and that's an open roll as well. So.
This is going very bad, very fast.
I feel like that's just.
So that's 29. So he pretty much shakes your hand and says bye-bye, and then he just slams it into the table, and you lost another 5 coppers.
Also, in this round, I cast a spell. It took 2 rounds.
Okay, sure. What is the spell?
Strength of the Stone Hygie. Because what I did is realize, this is what you're supposed to do to be social. I better compete.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it's working.
Sure. Roll for it.
Okay.
And it is.
Cool. So
just
what
a
does it
note,
do?
We're 5 minutes out.
Oh, it's 5 minutes left on the meeting?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna lose connection here pretty soon. Did I already lose connection?
No.
No.
Anyways, after I cast the spell, we have 4.5 minutes. I walk up to the table again. And I say, I want to be social.
Okay, we have another contestant, they say.
Okay, so after losing, I look at the captain and I say, "Hey, not bad for a farm boy, right? I mean, you're the captain. You shouldn't have taken so long to beat me." And then I stand up and I let the troll do his thing, and I look at it with a big smile at the captain that has to wrestle with the ugly troll.
Well, you did very well, little Viggy, he says. Maybe next time you'll be able to beat me. I don't know. We'll see. So next contestant, he says and looks around, and he sees Lashnil. Oh.
I just grunt.
Pretty Lashnil. You want to join us?
I want to be social with you.
All right. Well, anyone is welcome, I guess. It is the harvest time, and after all. So you guys sit down, and he pulls his shirt back, and he gets ready.
And I take my weak-ish normal arm.
Mm-hmm.
So is it plus the strength modifier?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because that would be +6, but it doesn't go to 6. Let's see.
That's okay. So he just looks around at his hirt and kind of smiles to himself when he sees your noble little arm and thinks this is gonna be easy.
Let's see. There we go.
Do
Plus, so it's no wait. Oh, my bad. How do I edit the die? That's an advanced dice roller. Okay.
Just 1d10, not 5d10, right? And if you have plus...
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I found the...
And then you can write +6.
Okay, here we go. Oh, that's supposed to say +6. So that's 8.
Okay. You don't want to do dexterity?
No.
Okay.
Just strength.
Pure strength. Okay. So he inches you one step closer to the board. Next one. You're not very lucky today.
I don't want to bust your bubble, Morton, but I don't think you're supposed to add 6.
Yeah, because I have a modifier of 6.
Because of his spell.
No, it doesn't add to that. It just gives you whatever you have turns into a +4. So you should be rolling with a +4, not 6.
Isn't it the modifier though?
No, you gain the exceptional character trait of strength +4. So it's not
+6. It's a +6. It's strength of the stone ninja.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Oh, it's a stalemate.
I rolled again.
He's starting to sweat in his forehead. And let's see if we can beat this.
I just look at him. Are we being social now?
Yes, very good, very good. And you go back up to the 90 degrees position again.
I feel like he should have to make some sort of willpower check. He's getting beaten by a scrawny little arm.
At some point, yeah.
They're gonna look at him. Do you want me to win? I can win.
Yeah, you can.
Am I supposed to win?
Well, you can try, he says, and does his best to add some strength to it. Damn it, he says, and then you kind of puts him down one step.
At this point, I just look a bit confused. I don't understand this, and I stand up and walk away to the other table with the food.
he kind of rubs his arm a little bit and looks at you like, what the fuck just happened? Okay, and there's the meeting. All right, so let's take a little break again. Yeah.
Riot Minds presents an award-winning role-playing game. Trudvang Chronicles. There are many tales and sagas about Trudvang. Many songs about the fallen heroes. Based on the Norse and Celtic myths and legends. Riot Minds present a world of endless adventures. Draw your sword. Call upon the gods. Weave your magic.
Yes.
All right. Welcome back. So, like I mentioned before, we're using this program called Zoom, which is great for connection and quality, but since we're using the free version, every 40 minutes we need to restart it, and I need to set everything up again here. So we're just taking a little break every time. So welcome back. So Lashnil just walked away from almost winning against the Hilt captain in a feat of strength, and he kind of looks at you confused when you walk away, and he kind of said, "What about the money? You don't want to finish?"
It's all right.
I looked at you. No. But yes, maybe. Give them to... No. Wait. I'm gonna grab some food.
Okay.
And I walk away.
Next time then, Lashnil. Next time, I guess, huh? He says, and continue talking with his Hirt men again. So, what about Korbli? What is Korbli doing?
Korbli is at this point like he's just entertaining the I forgot what the owner of the place called, but his kids.
Kraltjan.
Yeah, Kraltjan. Yeah, and just like his youngest kids, and he's starting to tell like stories at this point. He's telling a story about it's like one of those cautionary tales about not going out into the woods because the trolls will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
The fun bits.
Okay.
And yeah.
So you get a few of the kids running around all over the place, and they kind of gather around you, and they learn by now that when you start telling a story, it's always quite interesting, right?
I'm pretty good at it.
I have an interjection.
Yeah.
If at some point after this, I just did, I hear the story about trolls.
Mm-hmm.
I walk over there and just looks confused. And while you're telling the story about trolls, I look at the kids and I say, they will not only capture you, they will rape you, and they will eat your flesh, and they will, the stuff I've experienced.
The kids kind of look at you like, what? And some of them run away crying.
But at least you have good stew.
Okay.
I just continue eating.
Oh yeah, all the kids just scatter.
Yeah.
And at this point, Korbli hasn't even gotten to the point of the story yet, so you're not very happy about that, I guess.
No.
Not even the part where the hero blocks off the trolls' cave with a big rock and sets it on fire to kill the troll.
Yeah, not even that.
Yeah, I think to like enlighten the mood, especially for the kids, I'm gonna switch the story up and start telling it about like being saved by trolls, the heroes of the Middlelands, saving the poor farmhands from the trolls.
Okay.
Just to make the kids not have nightmares.
So can you roll a storytelling?
Yeah.
So what's your SV in storytelling?
Oh, it's more than 3. It's like 7 or 6, I think.
Okay. Yeah, you told a very compelling story, and the kids are slowly coming back and kind of they're kind of like cleaning their noses, like drying their tears and stuff, and you're sitting down again and kind of huddling together, looking like over the shoulders at Lashnil, hoping it doesn't come closer this time.
I'm actually listening to this as well because I'm amazed, because I never heard this version. I'm like, what? Somebody killed a troll?
So Lashnil says, somebody killed a troll? Korbli?
Yeah, loads of people kill trolls. It's like a profession out here.
I'm just amazed.
Haven't you heard the story of Olaf, the troll slayer? And then I start telling another story. This time about Olaf.
All right,
and
roll it again then.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, well, not as a compelling story, but you already had the interest of the kids at least. And the kids don't really need much to stay entertained. It's not like they have mobile phones or iPads or anything to play with at this time. So they happily listen even to a mediocre story.
Yeah, a quick question just about system and rolling. Like you have to, I know you have to roll under your skill value,
right,
to get things done. But if something should be very easy, shouldn't you isn't the skill value considered to be higher than if something very easy to do?
Right.
And so you can succeed even if you don't actually go below the skill value.
Exactly. I will give some benefits to you guys, like +1, +3, +5, so on, depending on.
I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So, does anybody else do something specific, or are you just eating and enjoying the feasts?
If I still have time, I would like to chat up the captain again.
Okay, sure.
So since this is the end of the harvest season and seasonal workers are probably gonna, spread and leave and do stuff, I'm, inquiring about the headman. And so I go to the captain and I'm like, all right, so harvest season is over. You're going to the thing in a short time. And then what's gonna happen for the warriors of the farm?
Oh, you asked the head captain?
Yeah.
Oh, Biggie, you're back, huh? Back for more?
Yes.
So,
if you want to.
So we're actually about to ride out. We're going to the thing, in about 10 days by the thing, and we're actually going. We're going to join up with the Hird of Einbjörn, Shieldguard Einbjörn and his Hird, further to the. A little bit further to the north. They're actually going to come here, I guess. And then we're going to ride out together to the south towards the thing outside of Grim Village. It's the big yearly all thing to this time. So it's important that we get there in as many people as possible, as many hitmen, as many men and women as possible, so we can make our voices heard and support our Jarl.
So I look at him and I say, all right, so you will take me then?
Yeah, you're welcome to join us. But I'm pretty sure that the master have something else in mind for you.
Do they?
I think you should talk with him about that.
Well, you're so strong I am. I mean, I nearly beat you and you're a captain.
Yeah, that's true. Master Kraltjan have something important to ask you later, I'm pretty sure.
All right, just keep me in mind, right?
Of course. You're always welcome to join us. And then he turns back to his ale and takes a sip. Okay. So you guys are eating and enjoying yourselves. Later, people start dancing. There seems to be a bard, a traveling bard that's there, playing some music on his... I guess he has a kind of lute, and everybody are enjoying themselves. It's not every day that they have a bard in the farm, and it seems like maybe Kraltjan actually ordered him to come here just for this feast. Later in the party, he starts handing out the salary for the harvest. So all of you get 10 silver for your work.
After we get the salary, I want to raise a toast to Kraltjan.
Sure.
And praise him for his goodwill.
So what do you say?
Everyone, listen up. We're all here. Thanks to Kraltjan, and I think we should cheer him on for being such a good host of this party, this feast.
Everybody stands up and starts cheering, clinking the glasses together. And Kraltjan says, "You are the ones that should have thanks for all your hard work. you all deserved the salary, and I'm hoping to see you next season again. And then he says, Korbli, would you mind bring the rest of the people at your table up here? And he kind of mentions to all of you guys to come up to his table.
We do so, I guess.
And Mana quickly dabs out the ink and puts everything back together and puts the book back into his bag and gets up and walks forward.
So, so when you approach, he said, "Oh, thank you guys for your hard work this season. I think you were some of the hardest workers I ever seen, and I've been doing this for many years. I'm hoping that you guys are considering coming back here next season again. So, what are you guys' plans for now? What are you planning to do next?"
Sacrifice a chicken.
Okay. Let's start from the left again. So Ryan first. What are you planning to do next?
Oh, well, probably still a couple more days till everything is all completely done here for me, but then it's just down the road to the next town. Well, in theory, unless there's anything else to get done here. Maybe I'll pop around, and go around the circle.
Master Mane.
I am on my way towards Saga, and I don't know if I'll ever find my way here again. But that would not be because I did not appreciate your patronage. But if I ever do come around here, I'll know that Jukashearth is a truly is a good place with a good master.
Thank you. And Loki?
So I look at him and I say, well, good master, I went and spoke with your captain and thinking that maybe I could join you on your ride to the thing. But he told me that you had other plans for us. And I look him in the eye.
That's right. I know all of you have plans for moving on, and you're all going in different directions. But I was hoping to ask you for a favor before you leave. You see, my herd are moving to the thing in 1 or 2 days, so they can't really do this for me. But I need somebody to take a wagon to my cousin Magne in the north, about 2 days ride to the north. This is the tax for a shield jarl for this season. It's part of the harvest, and also some of the letters that Master Haumundsson wrote for me are for Magna and the shield jarl. If you guys would be willing to, I know this is a detour since all of you are moving south, but it would really help me out. I don't have any thralls or anybody to send, because Magnus here is coming here to join up with my herd and go to the thing to support a shield jarl. So we're going to have a small feast for them. So I can't send any thralls, and of course the herd is moving out. So you are really the only ones that are available. I will of course pay you more. I will give you 3 silver each if you do this.
Quick question. I'm not sure I understand the timetable. So does this mean that we would miss the meeting of the herds then?
No, it's just a 2 days detour.
Okay, right. Well, if you can still meet up with them at the thing, sure.
Of course, the herd would have moved out before you would come back, but you can still make it to the meeting if that's your intention.
Well, I would like to come back to you and speak about these things that I spoke with your captain.
And I think that's why my captain told you to wait until I talk with you, because we do need warriors to protect the wagon. This is the tax for the whole year going up to my cousin. So you guys kind of know that his cousin Magne Bite, he's the clan chieftain of Clan Bite, of House Bite, and you also know that House of Bite supports Shield Jarl Einbjorn Ludabrut, which also is a big farmer living in this area. And the shield jarl Einbjörn, he in his turn supports the big shield jarl Wolfgat Shordot, that is the master of the city of Saga in the south. So it's quite important for them to come to the thing and support the shield jarl. Actually, this farm is one of the outermost farms in the land of shield jarl Wolfgat. You are in the middle of Ejdland, and that's kind of where the border. Wolfgat, he kind of rules the east side of Ejdland, and this is kind of the border to the second largest shield jarl, which is named. Let's see on my diagram.
Jorn Entlof, I think.
Jorn Entlof, yeah, from Trollmark Castle. Actually, what we can do is to give you kind of an overview. I actually have the map on Roll20 here. So let's just.
So Jorn is our liege lord. What do you call it?
No, Jorn is not your liege lord. Actually, like I said, you're on the border to the land of Jorn and the land of Wolfgat. So Wolfgat would be the liege of this area.
Okay.
I moved you guys to the map now, right? You see it?
Yeah.
If you zoom in a little bit, in the middle there you have Jukashearth, and you're going towards Bearfield, which is the big farm of Magne. So you can see I kind of filled it out with some roads and stuff. So you are here at Jukashearth in the middle. Wolfgat is the lord of Saga City in the southern part of the country, and he owns the eastern side of the country pretty much, all the way up to Patil in the northeast. The second biggest shield jarl is Jorn Entlof, and he rules from his castle of Trollmark in the northwest, and he rules the west part all the way down to Rim Coast. And then there's a third shield jarl that rules from his island on the east, from the city of Klipp on the east coast there. And he rules all the islands in the east there. So you guys kind of all know about this it's kind of some basic politics in the area. There's 3 big shield jarls that together make up the council of the thing. And that's something they're gonna vote on this in this thing. You can see the thing there close to Grim Village, and they're gonna actually vote who's gonna lead the country this year. That's the kind of stuff that they are voting on.
So it's just a tiny little backtracking up to Barnfield, and then it wouldn't be hard to get to the thing late afterwards.
Exactly. You would just have to go back the same way you came. So Kraltjan knows that this is kind of a detour for you guys. That's why he's willing to pay 3 silver for 2 days of work. Usually a farmhand would get 1 silver per day. So it's a pretty good price. So what do you guys say? Are you willing to help me out with this?
Anything for you.
Mm.
You helped us so much. Or you helped me so much.
And Korbli, you're welcome back anytime. And Lashnil, I know you're not comfortable leaving the farm too much, but I think this would be good for you, he says, for you to make some friends and get out in the world again and work through your situation. Would you be willing to help me with this? Sorry?
No, I just say, if Father wills it, then I do it.
Of course. I think this will be good for you, and I've talked with your mother about it, and she also agrees this would be for the best. You're of course welcome back anytime, but I think it's time for you to get out in the world again. And Korbli, you're back to health, and I think it will be good for both of you to see more of the world at this point.
And Mana is like looking at Fig, like looking at as if like, do you think, like giving him that kind of look?
What kind of look exactly? Vig is not exactly right. So what do you mean?
He's basically like asking if, like, does this? Or you know what? He's actually, saying it in Röna. He's saying, "What do you think? Should we do it?"
So Vig looks at him and says, "Well, it's a small detour, and we can do this. We get some money. I mean, I don't expect this to be particularly hard. Maybe we will have to run down some bandits, but I don't think that will be a problem. I mean, look at that thing," and I look at the ugly thing. I mean, they would probably leave just by the
smile.
So that would not be a problem.
Okay.
And then we come back and we go to the thing and we continue helping this, what's his name?
Kraltjan.
Kraltjan.
Okay.
Maybe we can do some other stuff on him. He looks nice. He pays well.
Well,
why wouldn't we?
Yes, of course. And like Mana turns back to Kraltjan and realizes that they've probably been speaking Röna this entire time, and that might be a bit rude. So like, sorry, but after we get to the thing, I think we might be parting ways because I'm moving towards Saga. But we'll come there then. In that case, Master Bite, we gratefully accept.
Perfect. Bodgeir, are you willing to join them?
Yeah, I'm fine with going that way. I mean, as long as you're fine with me being done here, it means I'm not going to be able to.
Yeah, of course. You've done more than we could ask for. I mean, our gear has never been in this good of a condition before, so we should be okay until the next traveling blacksmith comes along.
Yeah, sure. That's
all right.
Fine by me. Sure, so they have work up there too.
After saying that, he pulls his shirt back a little bit, and usually in Trudvang, you don't always have coins, right? So it's more common to have kind of like wristbands or necklaces made of metal, and then you just like cuts a piece of it when you want to pay somebody. So he has like a golden one, a silver one, and a copper one on his arm, and he cuts pieces of the silver one that corresponds to 3 silver and gives one of them each to you guys. So you get another 3 silver. Don't forget to write this down on the sheet on the equipment section.
Yeah.
You got the 10 from the harvest, and you got 3 from him right now.
A thing. I always imagine it like not actually cutting off pieces, but like I imagine it being like the coins having like holes in them, and they're all sitting on like a string or something, or on a band, and you unhook you like unhook the loop of it and take off the coin that you need or something. Because if you have an entire like piece and you cut off pieces, eventually you're just gonna end up with coins.
But that's actually what they did in reality. Back in the Viking era, they had this small bars that they would chop pieces off.
And you can always just remelt it and make a new necklace. Just join the piece together with a little bit of metal.
So I mean, since there's no real king, there's no king or anything in Ejdland, you know. So who would make the coins? So there are coins, and you can pretend that you have coins instead of these bands of metal. But the most common way of handling money in this area is you having like wristbands or necklaces or this kind of like thin pieces of the metal, and then they cut off a piece of it. So that's how you carry the money pretty much.
Okay. So I was just thinking that. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. It's good to think and ask questions. Okay, so he kind of tells you that it would be good to leave as soon as possible to get it done, so you can all join the thing later. it's pretty late at this point though, and he kind of says, "Okay, I will prepare the wagon. I ask the thralls to prepare the wagon, and it will be ready in the morning for you guys with some supplies and stuff." And that's also something you might not know, you people, not the characters, but it's quite common with thralls and stuff and slaves, right? In this area, especially in the Stormlands, but also actually all over Trudvang, thralls are quite common, and it's not always like it could be from like taken from battle, like prisoners, but it could also be people that did something wrong and had to pay it off, or it could be somebody that like borrowed some money and couldn't pay back, and kind of had to do this to pay back his debt and stuff like that, right? So there's quite a few thralls on the farm as well, but you didn't really talk with them because you don't really do that, right? I guess so. Yeah. Do you want to do something else before you go to bed?
Can we get?
No, sorry.
Now, let's start from the left and go Ryan, Polka, and so on. I know Pixie has to wait, but
yeah. While I was there, I mean, if we're just going up there and then coming back, I just might as well just ask him to keep an eye on my donkey for a while, because there's no point bringing that along with it. It's just, I don't need all my extra equipment if it's just going up and down.
And he said, "Yeah,
care of it.
Of course, Bengt is welcome to stay here with his donkey friends, no problem." Okay.
And then I guess I'd go off to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with it.
Right. Cool. Polka?
No, I don't need to do anything really, except maybe. Nah, it's not important.
Okay. Loki?
Alright, so we're going on an expedition. I want some equipment because I'm dirt poor currently. So how does these things work? Can I just take a shield and a sword in the longhouse because I'm working for this lord, or should I buy it? Or is there something lying around I can just pick up?
So, I mean, the shields and equipment inside a longhouse is the hirds. So you could probably ask the hird if they have something to sell. And since there's no real blacksmith in the farm usually, we have Bodgeir, of course, but he hasn't been creating weapons and stuff. He's just made like farming equipment. Usually
don't have the resources to make stuff.
Right. And usually there's not weapons lying around. It's not like anybody have a shop with weapons and stuff like lying around. You have to get them on order pretty much if you don't come to a place like a bigger place with a lot of people in need of weapons and stuff.
Okay, so then I go to the captain after being briefed by Kraltjan, and I tell him, "All right, captain, so I spoke about that special business with the master, and we're going to do something quite dangerous. Do you have spare weapons lying around?"
Are you looking for something specific?
Well, a good old shield, sword, and maybe a bow for hunting, food and maybe bandits.
I might have an old shield lying around or something, if you're willing to pay.
Well, I mean, it's your lord's business that I'm protecting, so I don't know if that's appropriate, right? But,
well, the gear is still ours. It's not Kraltjan's. Yeah, we pay for the gear ourselves.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that. Well, of course then. What do you have?
So it's easier if you tell me what you're looking for, and I can see if he has anything like that.
Well, just a medium, typical Viking shield, a short sword of some kind, and a bow and some arrows.
Okay, like bows are quite easy to find. They have a lot of hunting bows and stuff.
Okay.
Let's see here what the price is for that. Hunting bow. Oh, yeah, he has a hunting bow. He said, "Yeah, you can have my old hunting bow. You can have it for 6 silver." He says.
Is that a good price?
Do you have a tradesman? Trader?
Not really.
You have care at all?
Not really.
Okay, well, you have a 1 in care for free, so you can try to roll under 1 to know that.
All right. No, it's a D20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Well, it's not gonna work anyway.
You think it's quite good. You think it's quite normal price.
Okay, so that would be 6 silver for a bow. What about arrows?
He says, "I will throw some arrows in with it."
Okay.
He gives you about 10 arrows.
What about that old shield then?
I mean, I do have an old shield. It's a small one though, he says.
Well, you make do what you can, right?
It's not very good quality though. He says you can buy it if you want, but I would suggest getting something else after some time.
Well, I don't have time. I'm going on this mission. Or do you know someone else who could provide me with that?
I just want to say that we are 2 minutes out, 2 minutes until closing.
Okay, so let's just finish up this and then take a short break, and then that's good. So he has a small shield of poor quality that he used before, but he just means that you can buy it and use it for now, but you would probably want to get a better one at some point.
Well, of course I will, but yeah, this is what I can get now, right?
It says I can give it to you for 50 coppers.
Okay, let's do this.
Mm-hmm. So that's a small shield of poor quality. So you can change the quality on the automatic sheet to poor. The hunting bow was noble quality though.
Okay, and you don't happen to have some kind of sword lying around?
No, I'm sorry. We are using all of the swords and everything.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just punch the bandits then.
Good luck then, Vicky. I'm sure we will meet up again, and maybe at the thing if you are so inclined.
We will, and I clap him on the shoulder in a friendly way.
He grabs your hand and shakes it, and he looks quite happy about getting some extra silver for the thing. It's usually like a big market and stuff when it's time for the thing, so he's happy to have some extra cash on hand.
Afterwards, I will just look around and see if there are any kind of weapon lying around that I could just snatch up, but feel free to tell me that there's not. I mean, and just keep an eye open.
I mean, their weapons are lying around.
And how attentive are people to their weapons?
I mean, they have been drinking quite a lot, and there's quite a lot of people walking around, but I mean, it's in the middle of all of the partying.
Mm-hmm.
So people are looking at it. I mean, it's not a big longhouse, and the gear is mostly on the walls. So I mean, it's easy for people to see, and they will notice.
I mean, as I walk past, as I'm walking out, I can hear this conversation because exactly like, and as he's like looking around, almost, being a bit. I have a spare dagger if you want to borrow for the trip. Typically I just use it for cutting stuff up.
And there we lost the connection again. All right, sorry about it, guys. Let's go for a little break, and then let's get back to it again.
Riot Minds presents an award-winning role-playing game. Trudvang Chronicles. There are many tales and sagas about Trudvang. Many songs about the fallen heroes. Based on the Norse and Celtic myths and legends. Riot Minds present a world of endless adventures. Draw your sword Call upon the gods. Weave your magic.
Let's get going. Okay, so we have like 30 minutes left of the game, pretty much.
Yep.
And we haven't even left the farm yet. I love it. I hope you guys enjoy it so far. I mean, like I said, we haven't even left the farm yet, but I think it's quite important just to kind of slowly get into the feeling of the game. You know, a little bit, learn about some different aspects of it and stuff. And of course, we won't have any combat or anything. This
I mean, this is exactly what Trudvang is. It's all of the atmosphere and the feeling and the
Yeah.
people. Like this is what sets Trudvang apart from just any Dungeons and Dragons dungeon crawling smash and grab. Like this is there are farms and there are jarls and there are just everything. And I love this. It's great, actually.
So, like always when you play role-playing games, I suggest you have a notebook or something to write down some stuff. Of course, I'm gonna keep mentioning Kraltjan Bite and Magnin Bite until you remember their names, right? But also a little bit about the politics and stuff, because that might come into play later. But if you want to know more about it, I do have the map that I'm updating all the time with different locations and stuff, and I haven't filled out all the information yet. There's a lot of guys called name now, but it's the map that I have on World Anvil, and there's actually a link in the below the video here as well in Twitch, and also in the Discord there's a link to World Anvil. We can see, and you can kind of click on the different pins, and you can zoom in, and you can see which lord owns what area, and a little bit of information about them and stuff. Might be interesting later if you get to the thing.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a hunting bow in the weapons shield section, and I can't find it. But there are some stuff that look like a bow, but in another language. Is that possible? Like
that's the thing. They have their own names for the bows, right?
Crap. So
the hunting bow is called like a bendy bow. Let me see. The hunting bow is called a Veidi bogi.
Veidi bogi. All right.
Yeah, that's the hunting bow. The smallest
it's
one.
Normal quality, right?
Right. Ryan, you were talking about something there before it's cut off, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I was merely just offering a dagger that I have spare.
And to maybe make something in the future, right? Because of course, right now you won't be able to do something because you need to kind of leave in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But in the future, I mean, if you have a smithy or a place to work, you could make something, and then we can use this homebrew crafting rules that I mentioned. You can find them in the Discord channel in the pinned messages. I translated it to English and tried to it was made for the old Trudvang game, the Swedish one, in Swedish. So I translated it, and I also fixed the rules a little bit so it fit better into the Trudvang Chronicles rule set. So that could be fun. Okay, so it's the next day, the morning next day, and if you drank a lot, you feel a little bit hungover at this point, but you all seem to be in a pretty good state of mind. And outside on the courtyard, there's a wagon filled to the brim with casks of ale and grain and all kinds of stuff for the tax. And it's ready to go, and the thralls have also prepared a few rations for you guys, like 3 days worth of rations for each of you. So you can add 3 days worth of rations to your sheet as well. And it's like a medium-sized cart. You can probably sit about 4 people on it, and there's one horse dragging it. And it's early morning. It's quite nice weather. It's a light, bright sky, and the sun has just risen up, and it's a really nice kind of wet morning. It feels like a good day to ride off into the sunset and to get on with your adventure.
I use a minute to 2 minutes to cast 2 spells.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I just want to make 2 potions.
Okay, sure. Go for it. So, do you add any levels of power or anything like that, or how does it work?
I just use the basic version. I succeed with the first, and I succeed maybe... Nope, I only make 1.
Okay. So what's your skill value in your
20.
Oh, you have 20, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then minus the spell, then, right? The spell level or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know all about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you prepare a little bit. You eat a little bit of breakfast. And who wants to ride on the cart? Who is driving the cart? Who's riding on it?
I'm not.
Just not.
No.
Nope, not me. Not with my dexterity.
I mean, you don't need to know horse cart driving specifically to be able to drive it normally. It's just for
If no one
special
wants to, I
maneuvers.
can do it.
I would like to say that Mana is probably very keen on actually getting onto the cart, so he doesn't have to walk the entire way.
Mm.
So yeah.
So two people can sit at the front and two people can sit in the back and like looking backwards, pretty much.
I'll go with Mana.
I'll stay 10 meters behind the wagon.
I have some basic experience with horses due to my background.
Mm-hmm. So you're driving the wagon then, I guess. And Man is sitting next to you on the front there. Is anybody sitting on the back of the wagon? I lost connection again. God damn it. I lost connection again, guys.
Yep.
Good times. So just give it a second for the stream to restart again. I don't know. I think it's like I get spikes or something in from my internet service provider.
That's not good.
Yeah. Yes, but Nerny, connection problems indeed.
Can I just ask, like, about those letters?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm the one carrying those letters or something?
Yeah, definitely.
If there are letters going to Mana, I mean. Just it seems like there were other letters going to other places as well, but I don't know.
Right. So there was going to Mana and going through Mana, you're carrying those. And actually, you got quite a lot of information from writing these letters. I mean, some of them were just normal, hello, how are you? Hope everything is fine, kind of thing. But quite a few of them were about plans for the future and stuff. Kind of talking also with the shield girl Einbjörn, which is the shield girl of your clan. Not your clan, but this clan.
Yeah, and, the clan, yeah.
Kind of like about troops and this kind of thing, about how many hillmen people have, and where they're planned to be at what time, and nothing about an attack or anything like that, but kind of like troop movements and stuff, and also some information about Entlof, Jorn Entlof from the Trollmark Castle, and his troop movements as well, because they're living on the border here, right? So
and you have to keep watch unless fighting starts out and stuff.
Right.
This is almost confidential information, and I can imagine it being that since scribes are so rare, when someone hires a scribe to write for them, it's probably like the scribe has to note down who they are, like dictated by, like written by this scribe, like or something, to so that people can know stuff, and so that actual scribes are like, it's known that this particular scribe normally writes for this jarl or something, and it's noticeable when maybe one scribe goes away and another scribe starts working for that same jarl, because then it's being written in a different hand and a different. I can just imagine that, but yeah.
Right. Definitely. Does anybody sit on the back of the wagon, or do you all walk next to it?
I do.
Okay.
Last night I would have taken like a branch from the tree, the oak tree, behind the farmhouse, and now I would be like sitting there removing the barge and making a walking stick.
You wanna take such a big branch from it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you using to take the branch? Are you just kind of trying to?
I have a sea axe, so it's just like small sword, right?
Yeah, it's like a dagger. So, yeah, when you started trying to take off the branch, you couldn't even make a dent in it with your sea axe.
Oh.
So
okay.
You pretty much had to go to one of the outhouses and grab a saw. you reckon that maybe Kraltjan wouldn't be so happy with you taking a piece of the tree.
He did talk about it a lot, right? How it was always there, and he made his farm around it and stuff, right?
You can still do it. I mean, because they had that part in there, so they didn't notice really. If you do still want to take one.
Yeah. I thought it was important to have like a piece of the place with me.
So how big a piece do you take?
Like, I'm really short. I'm shorter than 160 if I remember correctly, and like, so it's not that big of a piece. Okay. It's not 2 meters of wood.
Right.
I'm just asking here. What do you think Kraltjan's gonna say when he sees you the next morning carrying an entire branch, basically? Like, because
I would put it in the wagon.
Let's do. Do you have camouflage or something like that?
What did you say?
Do you have like shadow arts or anything like that?
Nope.
To hide it.
Let's see.
Let's do a perception thing where you're trying to hide it. So you just roll a d20 and try to get under 1. You get a +10 because it's party and the people are busy. So,
no problem then.
Okay, so you made it. You managed to hide it. Good. Okay, so you got a pretty good piece of the oak tree, and you put it in the wagon. So you can put it down on your sheet.
Oh man, I'm not happy about that.
You can do your perception check if you want, Morten. Do you have finding and spotting?
Yeah.
Okay, so do a d20 and roll under the finding and spotting then.
I succeed.
What did you get?
8. I succeed.
How much what's your SV?
2.
Huh?
No, 4 actually.
Your skill value, your total skill value is 4.
No, I'm 4 under. My skill value is 12.
Okay, so you succeeded with 4.
Yeah.
So Pixie succeeded. He had like 11 and he got a 4. So you didn't really notice.
Okay, fine.
But you would notice when I start like carving it in the back of the wagon the next day.
I'm not gonna do anything. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm just going to write it down.
Yeah, you'll probably notice the next day and next morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys set off, and Kraltjan's farm is pretty much in the middle of some hilly fields and farmlands, and there's no real forest or anything around, but there's like small patches of trees scattered around. There's like you follow this winding road for most of the day. On the east side, there's a leafy forest is starting to kind of appear more and more. Like you're getting into it more and more on the east side, and the road is kind of following the outline of this leafy forest. On the west side of the road is a lot of these black flowers covering all of the fields and everything. It's kind of like a grass, kind of like a heather flowers, like a jung in Swedish. And it has these black flowers. Does anybody know anything about potions and extracts or botany or anything?
I'm fairly good at potions and extracts, but I have nothing in botany.
I have botany.
Okay, you can roll it if you want to know what it is.
Me too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. That would be 12 and 20. It's slash bar 1d20, and then it's like a less than symbol, right?
Yeah, you can just roll it and know what your skill value is, and you can just tell me if you manage or not.
Oh no, wait, that was wrong. Okay, so 18. That is not a success. I should have written that backwards.
Right. What about Pixie? You didn't succeed either?
No, 12, and I had 8
Okay, so
without any bonuses.
you don't really know what it does or anything, but you know that this is called black heather. It's a very common kind of grass, kind of flower in this area in the Stormlands, and you can pretty much find it anywhere. You know that it might have some kind of attributes that you can use in potions and extracts, but you don't really know exactly what it does. Okay. So yeah, you follow this road, and about at noon time, you can see a road like the road is splitting in two, and the road going to the west. You see at the end of it is a massive farm, a really big farm with multiple long houses, a big wooden palisade around it, and a lot of activity and people working in the fields and stuff. That's to the west. The road that you're following, though, is going to the north. So that couldn't be Magnus farm Bearfield. Would be something else.
I would like to the thing is with Pixie, the Korbli and that branch of copper oak. How much? Because here's the thing: I don't want to metagame, so but I know that tree is important. It's copper oak, and it's like magic in a way or whatever. But I don't know if my character knows that. So before I make something out of it, I wanna.
That would also be a botany or a terrain experience, forest maybe you could use or something like that, or a wilderness skill.
I have nothing of those things, and I'm not even gonna try in that case.
Yeah.
So I got all those things. I want to find out if it's copper oak or not.
Okay.
It would matter to me.
So which skill do you want to use?
So I have all of those. But let's see. I think terrain, knowledge, forest is most I have.
All right. And if you have botany as well, you can. How much do you have in botany?
Botany 8, terrain experience, forest 8.
Okay, so I give you a plus.
Culture.
Huh?
That's the whole Elven culture. Their backstory is that they plant trees, basically.
Oh yeah, land knowledge, Korpikalli in the copper forest 8.
So I'll give you a +5 since you're an elf from the copper forest and you have all of those skills. So you get a +5 on your. Okay, so you recognize this as the very rare copper oak. I mean, it can be found in the copper woods, of course, but only in the deepest part of it. And you've never seen any oak like this in the open like this before. That hasn't been cut down long ago already. So this is a quite rare and very valuable wood, and you know that if you treat it correctly and put the right kind of runes and carvings into it, using your Vitner, like using Vitner at the same time, you can actually use it to store Vitner, and sometimes actually already stores Vitner in it.
More Vitner, yes, what I need.
So Pixie, you're a Vitner Weaver now, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm a Vitner Weaver.
You can roll a Vitner craft skill if you want to see if there is any Vitner stored in it already, like your SV4 Vitner.
Craft.
Like
do
Vitner,
you mean?
Yeah, like your SV4 whatever Vitner you're using.
Yeah. Okay.
So what SV do you have?
I rolled a 2, so I would have succeeded either way.
Okay, so There's already some Vitner inside of it. There are 3 Vitner points stored in it already.
Whoa!
But you reckon that you will have to spend quite a long time to carve and infuse it with Vitner points. I would say you could probably infuse it with 5 Vitner points per day if you spend 5 hours carving it.
Oh, well, I'm gonna do that today then, unless something else happens.
Right. Do you have the Vitner runes skill?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so you wouldn't know how to do it until you have Vitner runes skill.
Okay.
I mean, I could carve it non-magically, so it'd just be carved.
Yeah, you can make it.
I have the Vitner rune skill.
Mm-hmm. Too bad you guys don't know that you are Vitner weavers, both of you then. Or do you?
I mean,
I
I do know. I have seen the Vitner around Korbli. Sorry.
Maybe we should roll a roll and see if you notice each other's Vitner. So,
sure.
Do a.
I think we just established that we did, but we didn't want to talk about it in the open.
Yeah, and I mean over a period of more than 10 days, seeing each other on and off, I think there would have been at some point we would have noticed. I think.
Fair.
But I don't want to argue with a GM, of course. But I'm just saying it.
No. That's up to you guys. It's nothing that I'm deciding. It's up to you guys if you notice each other. I mean, if you agree on it, then fine. Okay, so okay, cool. So, do you do anything else during the day on the wagon there?
I don't.
Nobody else? No. So
you said that we passed somewhere that wasn't our target, right?
Right. It's just a massive farmstead on the west road ahead.
But it's a massive farmstead, so it's a farmstead of some importance, right? We know what it is, who
you
lives
would reckon
there.
so. You could find out if you want.
And shouldn't we stop there for the night?
It's not night yet. It's the middle of the day.
Okay, all right.
You can do a land knowledge Stormlands check if you want to know whose farm it is.
Ugh, I don't have any in that skill. Does that matter?
I guess I know what farm it is, seeing it's my neighbor.
Do a land knowledge Stormlands with a +10.
Yeah, I succeed.
Okay, so this is the farmstead of Shieldjarl Einbjörn Lodabrot. So,
I tell that to you all.
Yeah, so Shieldjarl Einbjörn Lodabrot is the guy that is like the Shieldjarl of the Bite clan, and the Bite clan is like supporting the Lodabrot clan. Like the Bite is quite small, like just a family, and then they are supporting the Lodabrots, which are led by Einbjörn Lodabrots, the Shieldjarl.
Okay.
And
So
they
this
in turn support Wolfcats, Shieldjarl Wolfcats in Saga.
Okay. So the thing we are transporting are for Magna, who will then take it one step higher up in the pyramid, so to speak, to Lodabrot.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
That's how it works.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a quite famous, quite big and prosperous place. In the whole of Ejdland, there's only 10 Shieldjarls.
Wow, that's not a lot.
So he's quite influential, and he's just one step under the main Shieldjarl in Saga, Wolfgat. So but you're not going there. It's not your destination at all. And it's quite far away. It would take you the rest of the day to get there. You see it in the distance very much. So you continue a little bit more still with the leafy forest on the east, and the weather is still nice, sunny and clear. I mean, it's late summer pretty much, right? Because you just finished the harvest. So the days are really nice so far, even though it's starting to get a little bit colder during the nights here in the Stormlands. In the afternoon, it's starting to get dark a little bit. Not dark yet, but I would like you all to roll perception. just a pure perception.
Not
So what you do?
finding and spotting.
Yeah, you can do finding and spotting, but this time just do perception. So roll a d10 and add your perception modifier.
D10. Oh,
It's a D10. Isn't it a D20?
No, I'm just making stuff up. So
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not really sure how you would roll perception otherwise, since it's just a +4 or something.
Oh shit! I need to. I have minus perception. I'm gonna re-roll that, and there we go. Wow, so that's less than 1. It would be at least.
So Polka, you hear Mane hears something up in the distance around the bend. You hear the clinking of metal against metal and the sound of horses' hooves around the corner up there.
Oh, I know that sound. I know very well. Can I have information about this?
You want some information about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to being around knights in armor and horses, so I would expect to be able to say something about that, right?
Yeah, so let's see. What did you roll? A 3?
Not a very good roll, but yeah.
I can say that I mean Bodgeir also rolled pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sat in the wagon.
Right.
And
I'm just not doing anything.
Yeah, but of course I'll be like, hey, do you guys hear that? Sounds like hooves and metal clanging.
And when Mane is mentioning that, you all hear it. And
over there.
It seems to be sounds like a few horses, and it sounds like metal against metal, like chainmail perhaps, or some kind of armor clinking against itself, and also some kind of some weapons or something kind of moving around.
Okay, so when Mane alerts us to the noise, I would stop the wagon and rise on the driver's seat, take out my bow, and aim it at wherever I would try and find where the sounds come from.
Mm-hmm. So they're coming up from up the road around the bend. You can't see it for the forest, but they seem to be coming around the bend any moment.
Okay.
I'm grabbing a bone talisman, and I was sitting there shaking it.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm doing a prayer.
I mean, I will ready myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's nothing, but if.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna crawl a little bit deeper into the wagon to be a little bit more safe, and let the others handle this, and be ready if they need me.
All right.
I jump after the next round, whatever. I jump off the wagon when I'm done.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So you can prepare a spell or something if you want, or you can ready your weapons. Morten, you did something. You said.
Yeah, I cast the strength of the stone hinge, and I succeeded with an added modifier duration. I mean.
Sure. So around the bend after a minute comes 9 massive horses. These seem to be battle-trained horses, and on top of them are 9 massive men. 8 of them have all shaven heads, which is the standard common way for Stormland warriors to shave, and they have really nice equipment like chainmail and leather armor underneath, gambesons and stuff, and well equipped with weapons and shields and stuff. And in the front of them rides another warrior that looks even bigger than the rest, but he has long, black hair, quite wild, back in a braid, or not braid, like a kind of like a ponytail or something. He's the only one not shaven, and he looks quite different from the rest. Much bigger and a little bit darker complexion. So if you want to know about this guy, you can do a Lore and Legends Stormlands check.
Ooh, I am good at that, I think.
If I can do it without the skill point in that specific area, I will do it.
Yeah, you can do
I
it if you
have-
have the knowledge skill.
I have no knowledge
Maybe I can roll a 1.
of any of this,
Nah.
even though I live here.
You should have some knowledge. You should have some basic knowledge.
I have 1 in the cultural knowledge. Nothing in there.
You didn't add anything to it, huh?
I could roll for a 2. Let's.
Okay. So nobody succeeded?
No, wait. I'm rolling. And yes, I succeed.
Okay, you have a pretty good...
Nothing.
Okay, so Polka Mane knows that this guy is not one of the normal Ejdland people. He's actually a wild bron. So wild brons is a small community of... they are descendants from the wild folk in the north. And they came here a few hundred years ago and had a massive fight against the Brots that lived here. The common Ejdland people, and they lost and almost got exterminated. And they have a community in the northern parts of Copper Woods. And they are sometimes hired as hirdmen because they are famous for being great warriors. And this is also they are also famous for being berserks. So so they are usually really good warriors and sometimes are put in charge of a personal hird and stuff like that.
Okay.
So these warriors come closer to you guys and stop in front of you, and the Wildbron moves ahead on his massive battle-trained horse, and he says, "Stop! In the name of Magne, who are you? What is your business on this road?" And he kind of looks a little bit extra at Lashnil and Vig, kind of looking because you kind of look like rogues or kind of that kind of.
I
people,
immediately cower.
Okay.
By the way, when the guys go around the bend and we actually see that it's a band of well-equipped, strong, tall warriors, I just lower the bow and sit in the driver's seat because we're not going to do anything to these guys.
Well,
We can totally take them, guys. For no reason.
By the way, the meeting is going to end in 1 minute.
Yeah, and it's time for us to finish anyway. So maybe we should stop here, huh? Before you guys have a chance to say anything. But let's stop the game here and continue from meeting these warriors next time. That's
by rolling a 20.
fumble. That's a fumble.
Ultimate fail.
That's the
Can't trade. They don't want trade.
So guys, a nice game. What do you guys think?
I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot too. Yeah.
It's going all right.
So let's continue on Sunday next week.
Yeah.
All right. So for the rest of you watching, if you want to follow, just please do that. And if you want to give us some money so we can pay for Zoom, just do it down below as well. And we have a link to the Discord and to the World Anvil page with the map and everything if you want to take a look as well. So just check it out. And thank you for watching. And bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Baby.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.